When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything!
Jimmy Mack is a renowned medical intuitive and spiritual life coach who has taken, completed, and even mastered a variety of healing modalities. After a near-death experience, he was shown and developed a simpler way to create healing and profound changes, now known as My Liquid Fish. He works with clients in person, on the phone, and over Skype worldwide, accessing energetic powers and co-creating changes that you can actually feel. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 if you would like to ask Jimmy Mack a question. Enjoy this 1 hour of profound healing.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Mack coming to you live from Clearwater, Florida. Hope you're doing well today, and hope everybody's somewhat getting past their presidential race hangovers. Either way. Anyway, we love y'all. We appreciate it. We're certainly going to work on some healing for everybody today. Also do some intuitive work as always, and it's free. So great show coming up today. Next Tuesday, I have on Reverend Tiffany, who's also my producer, who's awesome and can give messages as well. And it's Reverend Tiffany White Sage. So stay in touch with us on that. Should be fun. Every other Wednesday, it's really the first and the third Wednesday of the month at 3 p.m. on Charlotte Spicer's show, which is an awesome show as well. So that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Charlotte Spicer show. You can Google that for all the information. Also, again, solid hour, free healing, free messages. It's a great show as well. So, and then this Thursday, the only different thing I got going on for real is this coming Thursday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I'll also be on the Infinite Solutions show as well, and we'll be giving messages and healings. As always, it's free. This is our service to the world, if you will. And so we're thrilled to be here and work with you all. And today's special guest I'm excited about, it's Michelle Glass. She's a reverend, of course, and really powerful intuitive. And Richard Force, who is an astrologer. And they have just a wide breadth of history like me, taking a lot of different courses, of course, and doing a lot of different training and healing and all of it. So really love that they're on the show today. They also are very into the crystals and have their own shop and store, and we're going to dive into that as well as take callers. Really should be a great show. So as always, the phone number is 713-955-0594. You're going to want to press #1, and that'll raise your hand so that Tiffany knows you're on the line. So we look forward to it. Please call in with any questions. Again, it's today is Michelle Glass and Richard Force. Richard Force is a Reiki Master, Starseed Master, and Astrologer. He's got over 40 years of experience. He's also an artist and a creator of Crystal Starseed Gems. And it's a healing wearable crystal art. I love all that stuff. Michelle Glass is an angel reader, Reiki Master Teacher, and co-creator of Crystal Starseed Gems. And again, that's healing wearable crystal art, which is really we want to dive into that, find out more about that today. And she's one of Shay Parker's best, American Psychics, tested, ethical, and accurate. and member of the Certified Psychic Society. So we have them on the line today for messages, and also we're going to chit-chat about all that. It's a lot to dive into, so we look forward to it. Hey, everybody, are you there? Michelle, Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Yes, we're here, and we're very excited.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you? Y'all coming in loud and clear, so that's great.
All right, good, good. Well, you sound really good, too, so good deal. We're excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, ladies first. Michelle, just tell everybody who's new to you what you do just in a minute or so, and then we'll introduce Richard as well.
Hi, everybody. So I've been psychic my whole life, and it wasn't until my 40s that I actually decided to pursue it, and pursue it as a passion. It kind of came to fruition when I started doing Reiki classes, and then I started teaching Reiki, and then the gift kind of just really opened up more, and I was more able to embrace my gift. Sometimes it's very difficult to be very ultra sensitive. Luckily, I have Richard, who's a little bit more protective and a little bit more closed off, so he kind of puts me back into place. But so I've had this gift my whole life, and I only want to use it to help people. I only want to use it for the light, and that's what we're all about.
Love it. Yeah, well said. And that's great because you guys pretty much feed off of one another in a good way. I'm sure he will rein you in as needed and vice versa, right?
Oh, gosh. It's such an amazing yin and yang dichotomy between the two of us. It really is magic. It's pure magic. It really is. And I think that's why we were able to create the line together, is we work so well together. Like most couples that work together fight or they bicker. I mean, we just get along so good, and we bounce ideas off each other, and we respect each other immensely. And I respect his gifts and he respects mine. So it's a great thing. Yeah, to put that energy into the pieces is a big deal, because if you're sharing your jewelry or your crystals, something that you put your energy into, you want it to be positive. You want it to be healing and uplifting. So it wouldn't work if we didn't get along.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Well, let's chat with Richard just for a second as well. And Richard, if you could just give everybody a brief overview.
Okay, I sure will. Well, you know, it's kind of funny. I am a master astrologer. I've been doing it for over 40 years. But if you really knew me, you'd think I'd be the last person you'd think that would really be doing that, because I'm pretty much very analytical, and I've always been that way. And it's really one of the reasons I got into astrology when I was like 15 years old back in like the 70s, because I really thought it was a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, and I wanted to prove it wrong. And the reverse effect kind of happened to me. I just started, you know, when I started seeing sun signs, I started seeing correlations with myself, my friends, and my family. And because I feel like I'm a detective, I wanted to know more. And 40 years later, I got my own kind of astrology. I do it. I identified the key markers in people and so forth. You know, and again, I never wanted to do it other than to learn about everybody else. But it's got pretty exciting over the years, and people want me to tell them about it and tell them about themselves. I find that's very interesting. As far as the jewelry goes, you know, again, that's I would be the last person you'd ever think of doing jewelry, but just kind of fell into it. And again, that's Michelle's help there. And like when you said us feeding off each other, well, you're right on the money.
Yeah, very cool. I love that. Yeah, and so folks, we're going to go to a caller in just a second here, but y'all call in because, I mean, we're just hitting every possible angle here. You've got an astrologist and an intuitive, and I can work on your healing for you as well. So feel free. We've got a caller that's on hold right now. It's area code 613. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Sherry. I'm calling from Canada.
Hey, Sherry. What's going on? How can we help you today?
I'm just kind of struggling to figure out job or business, you know, like I'm obviously in line for change, and I just can't seem to figure this all out.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Richard, I think, is how I feel, and maybe you can at least tell him your overview, date of birth, that sort of thing, sign, and maybe he can throw some knowledge at you about that, of what might work, and then we'll go with Michelle, and then I'll follow up with you. How about that?
Sure.
How's the weather up there in Canada?
Pardon me?
How's the weather in Canada right now?
It's a little bit chilly today.
I'll bet it is. I'm in Florida. It's a little chilly. What's your first name again?
Sherry.
Sherry. And what's your month and your day of birth?
March 27th.
March 27th. So you're an Aries. So that's good. You got some fire. You're an initiator. So what is it about a job or something? Is that what you got right now?
Yeah, I'm looking to get. I've been consulting for several years, and I'm looking at going to work for a company or just like something. Anything.
Okay. Well, being an Aries, you have this where you want to go forward, you want to be a leader, and you're an initiator. You're not going to sit down and wait for something to happen. And I can just tell by your question right there, you're trying to make something happen. What do you think, Michelle? I thought you had your pendulum out.
Yeah. So, Sherry, what I'm getting is that I see you doing what you do already, but what will be great for you, it will be under another. In other words, instead of you doing the consulting where you have to be the one that, worries about getting the clients and making the money, you're going to be able to use your gift for what you do and have the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is that you will be able to do what you do with the security of working for a company that will actually value your gift.
Okay.
Isn't that wonderful? So I want you in your mind to be very clear, and I want you to set your intentions and send that out to the universe, because I see that happening for you in less than 6 months. So before summer of next year, way before summer, this is going to happen. And I heard the word stumble upon. So this may be something that you stumble upon without even expecting it. And so I want you to make sure that you see the success already and that you're open and your eyes are wide open to everything, okay?
Okay. I think it's last week for a job.
Okay, good. And you know what? Make sure that you do everything you can right now to keep your vibrations super high, because when our vibrations are low, we don't manifest. So make sure that you're praying and meditating, okay? What do you think, Jimmy Mack?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm all about just kicking the ball down the road and keeping moving forward. So, and it sounds like she is, and Richard brought up a good point as well, being Aries. They somewhat about traveling and initiating and fiery somewhat on that level. So I don't see you resting on your laurels at all. I see you just, you've got to constantly follow up with these things, though, and definitely apply for those things. But I definitely feel like it's like springtime as well. So at or about that time. You want to stand up and rock some stuff out?
Sure.
Awesome. So if you face due north, and going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. Your name and energy feels familiar, so I think we've done this before on some level. So, but if you just think of that job, that career, that communicative piece that's going to come in for you, it's going to change out of this kind of temporary contract work, if you will, into full-time, it's going to pull you forward for yes now. We're just dropping all that in for you. And you'll feel a drift forward.
Okay.
Here you go. And we're bringing in more. We're just taking out all the doubt, drama, chaos, anger, mystery, intrigue, and upset, any resentments. I also see you as bored, actually, so we're going to delete that as well. Going to pull you forward harder when all those shift. You'll feel it now. And it's coming in now. Make sense?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I really want to inspire you, like she said, to really pick it up, keep your vibration up, because, a friend of mine told me decades ago, you don't want to come into any interview or any piece where you're trying to get employment or job with the smell of fear on you. I love that. What a great statement. So the smell of fear. So stay out of fear and desperation, release all that, resolve it. I'm doing it as I say it for you. But you want to come in there confident, excited, and you really want to come at it from a place of, hey, I've already got a job, contract work, whatever, I'm fine, but together we can be better. Does that make sense? So about the opportunity, and you could show up and be better than you were before in the contract deal. We always want to look at least moving up or moving parallel with a bigger chance to move up. Does that make sense?
That's for sure. Okay, great.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Have a good one. Stay in touch.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, guys, tell everybody how to get a hold of you, too. I definitely want to bring that up. Phone numbers, website, where your shop is. People need to know this stuff. I think it's just profound information. And, if they want to get a astrological reading from Richard or intuitive reading from you, and then, of course, where to buy all the good stuff.
Okay, so if they want to contact me, there's many different ways they can contact me. If they want to go through Best American Psychics, they can go through it's bestamericanpsychics.com, and you'll see me on the directory along with a bunch of other really good psychics that have all been tested, ethical and accurate. I've been on there for about, I think, 5 or 6 years now. I got to check and see how long it's been. Also, if they want to contact me, they can contact me on my Facebook page. They can also contact me through my phone. My phone number is 727-741-0308. And they can also contact Richard if they want to do a mystic pyramid chart, which he does his own. He has his own style of doing it. I've gone, Jimmy, and I've done a lot of sessions with astrologers and left feeling like it's all Greek to me. And I'm Greek.
Right.
I didn't understand any of it. It didn't relate to my life. It didn't make any sense. And since I met him, he has really taught me so much about how our signs do affect who we are in our past. So, I'll let Richard explain what the Mystic Pyramid Astrology is that he does.
All right, well, thank you. Before that, I really agree, and I love what you just said to the last call at the very end about, going in with no fear and everything. And I think, that no fear and just embracing, going forward and living in that neutral point of view, or being what I like to call the observer, is really great. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's what showed up for them, definitely. And the Buddha said be the observer of the play and not the participant. So, yeah, I agree. Well, let folks know how to get a hold of you, because that's profound to do the astrology like that. And to me, I've been around a long time, so I feel like the acupuncturists do the same way. Over time, they kind of figure out their own little points. They aren't really going from an exacting how they were taught in school, and you aren't going from an exacting how the books read on generic astrology. So you've kind of found your own, mystical, magical, intuitive path, and that's profound. So let people know how to get a hold of you as well, phone number, website, that sort of thing.
Right. Well, Michelle and I are basically together all the time. And I know we've been together, and I've done, we've done group things. I've done little things here and there with people. But basically what I like to talk about with people, and I like to break it down, because I like to know everything about everything. And everything is related. From a deck of playing cards, which is really tarot cards, without, with the major arcana, they're all there. You can break down each suit as to an element. Elements are extremely important, especially in relationships. If I had to talk to the people about astrology, and there's one point, I had 1 minute to say what's the most important thing, and I would just say the elements. Because when you break everything down and look at it like fire, earth, water, and air, and let's say, because half the time people want to know about relationships, so let's just look at it this way. Is this person a good fit for me? Well, let's say you're a fire sign, for example, and the person you're interested in is a water sign. Well, from a very basic elemental level, the first thing is just fire and water work together. Now, it sounds really simplistic, but in essence, most of the time we'd have to say no. And when I look at that relationship, Unless there's other things really affecting the chart, it's going to be an issue. Now, let's say you have an air sign and another air sign. Well, air signs are people that are in the head. Well, if you got two people that are in the head, you got a good chance that, they're going to get along. For example, Michelle is an Aquarius, which is an air sign. I'm a Gemini. I'm an air sign. And we come at things a little differently, but, we get along. Now, if you were to put a water sign in the mix for either one of us, who's more of an emotional person, we're really coming from different aspects, because a water sign is coming from the inside, how they feel. If you say something, they're going by how their feelings are. If you say that to an air sign, they're thinking about in their head, how does it make sense to them? So on an elementary level, that's really important. But really what I discuss is their sun sign, which those 12 different sun signs, the sun and the moon are the most important things of life on Earth. They're also the most important things in your life as far as your birth chart, and they come in many different ways. The sun sign is very important because that's what people see. About 70% of people see is your sun sign. The rising sign also has to do with the sun. For about 2 hours a day at the moment of birth, you're in there, and that also affects you. And then your hidden sign is the moon. If you know those three things, it tells you an awful lot about yourself. But what I also include is your north node and your south node. Now, these are things a lot of people don't talk about or really understand. But the north node is what sign is your destiny or the path that you're supposed to walk. The south node is the energy you come in with. And it's always a balancing of two energies. And it's really fascinating. So when you find out who you are, and then you find out the path you walk, it's really amazing. And I've seen people's eyes really open up, including my own kids, my own family, myself included. So once I started adding that aspect to it, it really took it to another level.
Love it. Yeah, well said. That's great. And it's very interesting, too. I always find it interesting. Hey, we're going to take another caller, area code 813. You're local in Florida. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm sorry, just a moment. Could you take the next caller? I'm sorry, I just got into another.
Okay, no problem.
So sorry.
It's all right. Tiffany has somebody else on hold. I know you got a lot of listeners, so if there's anybody else on hold, we'll go with them. And not this second. There's just a million people listening without their hands up, and that's fine too. So let's go with, I'd still like to talk more with Richard about all that. I had an astrologer last night, and by the way, if you want to get on the call and ask questions, you just need to raise your hand. Just hit the pound insignia and 1. A lot of folks on the call, of course, but if you have a question, that's fine. If you don't, we could talk all day, you know that. So I had a lady last night, Richard, who just kind of shot from the hip on astrology, and I find it interesting how accurate it is. And you can even do mine real quick. I don't care. It's August 19th, and I'm 8:11 p.m. out of Clearwater, Florida. So tons of Leo and tons of aspects and healing, and health and medical stuff. Like everything I have in the triangulated chart all goes into health and healing, spiritualism, mysticism. It's almost funny. Like I have a million little stars or triangles, I guess, and they're all pointing in that house, And so without question, I'm not meant to be a lawyer or an engineer, So
yeah, it's funny that you say that, Jimmy Mack, because it's true with everybody. And when you're I've literally had professional people before that and most of the people I try not to know anything about. If I know my friends, so forth, and it's just like new discovery. But for the most part, it's people I don't know anything about. And when I'm done, it's amazing because I literally have people look at me, shaking their head, going, wow, why would you ever go to a psychologist if you just have this chart done? And I thought that was a profound statement because, there is an old saying, and it goes back, it's an old Latin saying, and it says, know thyself. If you know why you do things and you look at it, and like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I've never, ever got the information, done the chart, and not be true. You said it was August 19th. I know you're a Leo. Do you know what I can look it up. What was your data? What was the time that you were born, do you say?
Yeah, 8:11 p.m. 8:11 p.m. in Clearwater, Florida. Yeah.
What year?
61.
Okay, talk with Michelle for a second. Give me 2 minutes.
All right, Timmy.
Love it.
You know what I was going to say to you? Also, maybe we can get some people to call in. Listen, I was thinking, the year is pretty much getting ready to wrap up, right? So a lot of people might be a little blurry about where the next few months are going to go. So if anybody wants to call in and find out what the forecast from their angels is between now and January, I can help them out with that also. If that'll just kind of get some people calling in, because we're here to do this. We're here to help people, and we want the phone calls.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and I have people ask me that all the time, and it's very interesting. And of course, with what you do and cards and pendulum and that sort of thing, is just a dream to try and
what's funny? When I first met Richard, and I was channeling like crazy to him all the time, one of the first messages we got was, fasten your seatbelts. And let me tell you, that was incredibly accurate. And, it's almost like you have to take that kind of stuff literally. Like, when you hear that, you're like, okay, does that mean we're going to be really busy? Does that mean it's going to be crazy? Does that mean it's going to be bad? You don't really know kind of like what to think.
Right.
Of course, it comes to fruition in its own way with each person, depending on, what their destiny is and what their path is, what their spiritual path, where they're at on their spiritual path. So all these things definitely come into play. I think right now, everyone's so divided, and I think we all need to try to start healing. And you brought that up. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to make people feel secure in their selves right now is a big deal. So if anybody needs some help or guidance with that, we can do that too.
Love it. Yeah, and our next caller is 310. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Janet. I'm calling from L.A.
Hey, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
How are you? You have a question for Michelle about all that? Or Richard?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to see what the next couple months kind of hold for me energetically and all of that.
Okay, Janet, the first thing that came through for me was 3. So the next 3 months are going to be very busy. You need to come out of your shell, they're telling me. Because if you can do that, you're going to make things happen. They're telling me, your guides are telling me that sometimes you do tend to be very introverted. And that's okay. That's a protection mechanism that you employ, that your soul uses. However, try to envision, say the affirmations that you're guided, guarded, and protected, as Richard always says, and ask the angels to protect you from anything that's not for your highest and best. But then open yourself up to bring in all the blessings.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, and so I know that you, like I said, they're telling me you're in a shell, you're a little bit more introverted, and so we want you to feel safe doing that and doing so, but also we don't want you to miss out on any opportunities that can arise. And the 3 number keeps coming up again. Okay, so let me see what they're saying. 3 times. Okay. So I don't know if you're working on a new project or you're trying to do something new, but it may take up to 3 times to get it right, whatever it is that you're thinking about doing or working on.
Okay.
So in other words, if you're looking for a job, it might take you 3 interviews. If you're going to write a book, it may take you, 3 times to get it the way you want it. So 3 is a big number for you. And, under the angel numbers, Jimmy, talk to her for a moment. I'm going to grab my angel number book.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would narrow it down for you. What is it you're really interested in as opposed to quote unquote read me? Are you looking toward relationships, your job, career? You have any health challenges we can work on? What's really going on?
I'm interested in moving forward as in my spiritual path as a healer, but I'm kind of restricted because I'm going through a divorce, and I feel like I can't do anything.
Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah.
He's going to hold it against, he'll use it against me or find some way to,
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. That's just fear talking. That's your left brain screaming at you and, woulda, shoulda, coulda. So I'd stay out of that. You want to stand up and rock some stuff out? Let's delete out the fear. What do you say?
Sure.
Awesome. So if you're standing up, you want to face due north. Going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. And this is similar to what Michelle might do with the pendulum and getting yes or no. Just I'm going 9 miles above your head here and talking to my people to talk to your people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So it's going to be what it feels like is you have fear moving forward on the spiritual path due to the divorce. So when I say that, that's going to pull you forward for yes. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to release and resolve all that, delete and erase it, disentangle it all out now. And you're going to feel it pulling you backwards when it leaves.
Whoa.
You're going to feel waves of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So it's going to pull, and it's going to drop you off in a place of neutrality once it's done. You got a lot of stuff going on there. Anybody that's been through divorce, we play the woulda, shoulda, coulda game, and, we beat ourselves up. We want to beat them up. We want everybody to beat everybody up. It just, we laugh, we cry, it's really the death generally of a separate relationship. The marriage,
right.
There's you, it's your husband, and then there's the marriage, So it's a rough road. I get that, but you just got to soldier on and really move on through it. I tell everybody that is interested in the healing path, if it's for you, that kind of thing, it's going to work out anyway. But, you just don't quit your 9-to-5 job and hang on a shingle and go, now I'm a healer. You want to do a little potpourri, a little bit of everything, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And people are so funny. They're like, Jimmy, I want to have a roaring practice and be busy like you. I'm like, okay, start doing it for 25 years, 6 books. And, it's goofy, it's silly to say all that. So point is you put in your time like everything else. You want to be in that place where you're doing a little bit of everything, the work, maybe see clients at night, the weekend, and slowly but surely put yourself out there and have it in addition to instead of, not instead
right.
of. Does that make sense? So
yeah, it does.
I'd be leaning towards that. Yeah, I'd lean towards that direction. I mean, you're divorcing him anyway, so I don't really care what he thinks at this point. He's going to think you're nuts anyway, no matter what you do. So at this point, as my attorney friend would say, talking to angels flying UFOs, so what? You're getting divorced, trying to, work the thing out. So his opinion, it's kind of the old joke of, I don't care what your opinion is of me, You just can't be in that place where it's bugging you anymore because you're winding down this relationship anyway. Does that help?
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And
I have something to add. Okay, so number 3, the Ascended Masters are helping you. Usually this means an Ascended Master you feel close to, for example, Jesus, Kuan Yin, a saint, or some other spiritual religious figure. So you basically, the 3 number is telling me that you do have these Ascended Masters helping you. And also I wanted to tell you that the 3 could also mean there will be 3 different healing modalities that you will be proficient at, they're telling me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so don't be limited to only...
more than one and combining more than one, and so...
Exactly, that's what's going to make you a proficient healer, if you can combine multiple modalities. So try to be a sponge and learn everything you can. Do though what is resonating with you. It's very important that you don't just jump on a bandwagon because like if everyone's doing theta, then you do hit theta, or if everyone's doing Reiki, then you do Reiki. Do what's really inspiring you and what you're passionate about and what you feel drawn to. I think that's the most important thing. And definitely don't worry about what the ex thinks. He's not going to be paying your bills anymore, so.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I agree with Jimmy Mack. I agree with what he said. It's not something that you just, get a space and open up a store and say, okay, we're open for business. It's really it can be very stressful if you do that to yourself. So you definitely, I agree with him. You want to do it on the weekends. You want to do it in the evenings, and you'll slowly get to the point to where maybe you can phase out your original job.
Okay.
And stay positive. Keep your vibrations up.
I will. Thank you very much.
Love it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right.
Keep us posted, okay?
Oh,
and if we can help, if we can help you in any way, reach out too. You can always email or reach out on Facebook for Michelle, or you can email me. It's info@jimmymackhealing.com. And anybody that emails me, we send them all kinds of stuff, a free download ebook and audio. There's a video and there are other radio shows that are really cool. So reach out anytime if we can help you. It's all free.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for calling in, honey. Appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jimmy, you ready?
You bet. Yeah, tell me all about me.
I'm talking about you, and I do. I'm going to tell you many reasons, and I want you to visualize this, and I want everybody else to do this too. Now, in your mind, picture a pyramid. Picture a pyramid in your mind. Now, on the top of that pyramid is the sun. Okay, the sun is the strongest thing in our solar system. Without it, we'd have no life. And so there's the sun. And on the other side of the pyramid, the sun appears again. And on the left side, there's the moon. Okay, the moon, obviously, if it wasn't for the moon, life would be a lot different. Tied to emotions. It's a hidden side. It's very primordial. Let's look at the sun as a masculine. Let's look at the moon as a feminine. Okay, and if you take that in perspective, now, at the top of the pyramid, in your case, the sun, okay, which is your sun sign, which is about 70% of what people see. Not necessarily maybe what you are, but that's what they see. And I call this a template. There's 12 templates. We all fall into them. But that doesn't mean anybody, I could put you and 12 of the Leos, which is what you are, sun sign, and you'd all be totally different because everything is different. So we're going to put you on the top, so you're a Leo. Ironically, your planetary ruler is the sun. So your sun sign is also the sun. How that affects you is it makes you a very strong person. All Leos are strong, even if they don't seem like it, because there's this confidence that comes from within. Okay, you're a good leader. You're very strong. And you think of the Leo as the lion. Okay, very proud, very strong, king of the jungle. Some Leos need to be careful not to be arrogant, know-it-all, and they can't help it. And a lot of them don't even mean to be that. And it especially depends on what your rising sign is, which is, again, where your sun lies. And so the moment you're born, the sun is also in another spot for 2 hours each day, 12 signs, 24 hours. So which is interesting. In your case, you have Pisces, which really, in my mind, helps you out a lot because you have that strong sign there, which is Leo, but then you have Pisces, which is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac. It's very much water sign, very much described as yin and yang. A lot of Pisces have 1 foot in the left side, the etherical realm, and one on the right side, which could be, the side which is, more of a 3D perspective. So it's really interesting. You see that. Well, with you, in this case, what this is going to do for you, it's going to help you, it's going to give you more adaptive, more receptive than Leos that doesn't have that there. It gives you more of a creative side, more into what I like to call the spiritual things, which you very much are, into the healing and stuff. You are more emotional than some of the other Leos were. You're going to be more sensitive. You're going to be more dedicated. You'll be more adaptive and more of a team player. Well, some Leos that would be difficult to work with, but because of this in there, it softens you up. You're more of a team player. You're still going to be the leader. You're still going to be in charge. You know what you want, but you're going to be more compassionate. It's going to make you more romantic, more imaginative, more flexible, more intuitive, which is going to be really strong with you do. So you add this with the Leo, it makes you strong. Now, this is what people see, okay? But what they don't see is the moon. And your moon sign is how your emotional side or how you, maybe I call your honor system, how you view the world out. And it's an Aries. So here you got another fire sign. So you got, again, this Aries, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So that's that creative burst. And if you ever people talk about the Big Bang or everything starts with a big explosion. That's what Aries are. They're very childlike enthusiasm. So when you look at things, you look at this exciting, creative. It makes you ambitious, more vigorous. Also make you a little stubborn on how you look at things. Makes you full of energy. So this also adds to that as well. It's really kind of funny. Aries themselves will go head first into things. So your inner nature is, come on, let's go, let's do it. And then you have that Leo tendency, strong, but then here you got that Pisces on the other end that soften you up, making you more into things that a lot of Leos will say, that's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You're not. You're open to that. Now, the other thing I'll quickly talk about, I did look up your north and south nodes, which I think is going to be really interesting. In your case, it's really interesting because this is your path you're going to walk and everything else. Well, in your case, you're coming in with Aquarian energy, but your north node is Leo. So you're already set up to do that. And here's how that affects you. The Aquarians, is more what they call the Bohemians. The Aquarians are more the social workers. They want to work with everybody. So you already have this energy. You got this energy coming in where you want to work with people. You want to do this. But you also got this Leo north node where in some things you may have to, do yourself. You know what I mean? Things you want to release, people pleasing, the need to be liked, high down the group, emotional attachment, being over intellectual, head over heart, feeling too much nomadic living with no roots, rejection, that kind of stuff. See, what you want to embrace is unbridled self-expression, leading by example, following your heart. See, there's that Leo, and you already had that in you anyway. Tuning into desires, spoiling yourself, open up for affection, So it's really a balancing energy that you have to walk with.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and you're right on point on that. And I feel like Pisces has watered me down a lot, and I dropped ego a decade ago, and I tell people jokingly I'm a Leo, but I'm not the Leo that can't pass the mirror,
That's funny.
But you know what, too, though? I think that Pisces, in a way, makes you a stronger character because, like you just said, instead of being all about me, hey, you're a strong Leo, but it's not all about you, especially with the Aquarian aspect coming in. So it's very interesting. So when I see that, I really kind of see who a person really is, and it's interesting, and it's very true.
Yeah, I love it, and I love that you had mentioned. You're talking about Pisces rising, which is the 12th, so it's kind of I bookend the whole astrological deal because if rising is Pisces at the 12th and the first would be Aries, at the other end on Moon, that's kind of cool too. So
you picked up on that. That's very good. A lot of times I have to point out on that. And Michelle's been a very good student. And when I first met her, she didn't know anything about it, which has shocked me because she's such an angel and she knows this stuff. But because some people who may understand it are really not good teachers and are poor at explaining to it. You could be the smartest man in the world or smartest woman, but if you can't relay that to another person to benefit it, to me, it's wasted knowledge.
Yeah. Well, you got to get basic, and you want to translate those stuff so that people can understand it. I always would say, especially everything I don't need to know everything I just need to have it relate to me about what I need to know. So
exactly right. And you're 100% right, and that's why the Mystic Pyramid, it relates exactly to that person, to the things that, hey, let's face it. And in some ways, we're all a little narcissistic because we self-preservation, if nothing else, So you want to know what's the best route for me? Why am I doing it? Why do I have these issues? Or why am I like this? Why am I good at this? Because you're supposed to be good at this.
Right.
And when you know that.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because people would come to you blind and they might be, not knowing one word of astrology, but if they're already a lawyer, doctor, or whatever, it's amazing how relative it is. In other words, these are all things that I quote unquote should be. So if I wasn't, if I'd never heard the word astrology before, you're telling me all about myself without knowing a single thing. That's impressive to me. So I find it very.
It's funny you said that, and that's really what got me into this journey in the first place. Is exactly what you said. When I started looking at even the basic sun signs in my own family and stuff, and I had a really simplistic book. you know, some of those things were pretty specific. They weren't really general, like, I'm a Gemini. Okay, great. You know, I couldn't twist it around to fit my father, who was a Scorpio. I said, okay, let me try my sister, who was a Pisces. My mother was a Capricorn. So then I started looking at them, and it really, everything they said would only fit for that particular person. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be so arrogant. Maybe there's something to this. And then as I, you know, went deeper and deeper into it, you know, that's exactly what happened. And it's kind of funny. You know, it's just like the crystals that we're doing right now. You know, I just kind of fell into that. You know, I didn't know anything about it, and boom.
Tell folks about that, too, because I find that very interesting. I wear the kind of the Q stuff, the negative ion stuff that knocks down all these fields, you know, of the computers and ultraviolet light and the car batteries, and you're around computers all the time. And, you know, there's a lot going on. So, you know.
Shungai. Yeah, Shungai, Black, Obsidian. Well, it's funny because, you know, Michelle's been into crystals, and I've been into a little bit, but then we started getting into different things, you know, aura crystals, which is created with alchemy, you know, taking Lemurian crystals and then fusing gold into them, and then they turn into something different. And not only do they look different, visibly measurable. And, you know, and that's what we started looking at. We started taking these different auras that was made with platinum and gold and nickel and making these beautiful auras. And then they measure it afterwards, and I realized the energy has really increased. Well, they were so beautiful, I started embellishing with Swarovski crystals from Austria, rather. Hey, mate. And anyway, we started really going in that direction. And then we found these 250-million-year-old shank shells that I've never seen before, too, these shank shell druzes that are only found in India. And they were a living animal 250 million years ago, which is really blows my mind. And I'm going to put it in perspective. You know, they're talking about a dinosaur they found 56 million years ago. I'm like, oh, my God, we didn't know this thing existed. Wow, this is so old. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it is. But these shells were in the ground 200 million years before this thing was even walked on the ground. And not only it went so fast past being a fossil, it's literally become crystal, amethyst, citrine. And I never even heard about this before in a small pocket. So we started embellishing those. And I got to admit, I'm one of the guys who was always on the fence about feeling energy on crystals and stuff, because I never really felt it. I feel it on this stuff. I mean, to the point I had to walk away sometimes because there was so much of it. I almost feel like I'm high, you know, it's like I'm loopy or something. I had to walk away.
Love it. Amazing. Hey, we got another caller we'll take. 860, you're next. What's your name and where are you calling from and what is your question?
Hi, my name's Heidi. I'm calling from Groton, Connecticut. And
hi, how are you, Heidi?
I'm a hot mess.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. When I heard Michelle talk about looking at people's angels, and that just intrigued me. This is my first time listening to the show and ever knowing anything about it. Thank you. I'm really intrigued by it all. Just hearing you guys talk about astrological signs and stuff and talking about I'm an Aquarius, and it just like, wow, it's like you guys already know me.
That's how you know it's you.
Hey, listen, Heidi, I just want to tell you something. I think it's awesome that you're intrigued with the angels. And I got to tell you, everybody has, you know, their guardian angels. That's everybody knows pretty much that. But also, I would say pretty much everyone I do a session on has archangels that are working with them and ascended masters. And it's funny that we were talking about the crystals, we even made a line of archangel pendants that have the energy of Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Jophiel. She said, what's your actual birth date, Heidi?
January 29th, 82.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that's really interesting. Do you like dolphins?
Not particularly.
Okay, just curious, because a lot of them born in that aspect. There is stars in the sky, and it's called Delphinius. And a lot of the Aquarians born in there have a real connection with dolphins. And there's usually a connection to Atlantis with that. I was just curious.
All right.
Okay, so for you, next year, have you been feeling like you've been in like purgatory, like things haven't been moving in your life for about a year?
Yes.
Felt stagnant?
Yep.
Okay. So it's time for some action. Your angels. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel is coming through and telling me that, do you have some communication issues? Do you get kind of choked up sometimes and don't really tell your real thoughts?
Yeah.
Me too, and I think it's an Aquarian thing. Like, we want everyone to love us, and we don't ever want to speak out. And if we do, and we avoid confrontation. I think that you're going to come to a place where you're going to get your communication skills much more up to par, and you're going to realize that there is positive communication and positive boundaries. This is something that you really need to work on. I know a lot of people struggle with this, and there's a way to let people know how you feel and still be positive. You don't wait until you're ready to blow up, which I used to do a lot. I would let people walk all over me, and then I would blow up, and I'd be like, how dare you take advantage of me? No, it was my fault because I did not put up the healthy boundary to begin with.
That's exactly me. Like, I wait until I can't take it no more, and then it's and then like, holy crap, who are you? That's not how you normally are.
Okay, so listen, one of the most important things that I can share with you is that I learned that once you make a conscious effort to always be in speaking your truth and setting those healthy boundaries, you will no longer attract the people who are challenging that.
Right.
Those people won't come around you. You won't be attracting them. You're attracting them to kind of teach you. And so once you've learned that lesson, you're going to be attracting people into your life that are going to be more respectful of your boundaries and respectful overall of your gifts and not taking advantage of you.
Right.
So be clear. Yeah, be clear and set those intentions. I only attract into my life what's for my highest good. My angels, my guides, my ascended masters, protect me and help me from attracting the wrong kind of people into my life, something like that. Knowing if you're strong in your will and your intentions that you won't accept and you are going to keep up the healthy boundaries, you'll be surprised. You won't get tested quite as often as you have been.
All right.
So once you get in your power, a lot's going to change. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
I just want to ask her if that made sense. I mean, it resonates from what I'm hearing.
It does.
Yeah. You want to stand up? I'll work on you really quick, and we'll go to the next caller, honey. Do you want to stand up, face due north?
I'm actually in my car.
Okay.
In a parking lot, and it's pouring out.
Oh, we'll change it for you. That's okay. Yeah, no worries. So let's just give you more stamina. They're talking about discernment and direction in your life. You test really weak to that, and I'm going to change it to yes. It isn't even that you're trying to please everybody. It's you're kind of shell-shocked, they're saying, and you feel like the old pinball machine. You feel like the ball that gets hit off bumpers and then a flipper and back to a bumper again. So, it's kind of my old joke would be is if you try to please everyone, no one will like you. And so, you might please them to a point, but then you're like, oh my God, I'm leaving all my essence on the floor and nothing's left for me. And then they're like through with you. So we want to get you out of that. Yeah, does that make sense? It's your people talking to me, so there you go.
Yep.
So, we want to change that for you too. Okay?
Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. We appreciate you calling in. Thanks, honey. Have a good one.
All right, you as well. Thank you so much.
You bet. You're welcome. 813 is our next caller. Hey, we recognize that area code. How are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi again. Sorry about that. I pulled up to the Starbucks at the second you called my name. It's Desiree in Tampa.
All right.
And I've had a reading by Michelle and Richard before. Michelle, you know who I am. So my question is, I've recently left my corporate job after 8 years, got back into hospitality to develop my own business. I went through yoga training, became a certified yoga instructor, and decided that's what I'm going to do with my life. So I'm in transition right now and kind of building my business. And I feel like I haven't put as much action into it as I need to in order to kind of take it off the ground. And I know that the universe is telling me something. I've been seeing 1111 for months. And I'm just trying to figure out what I need to correct and which direction I need to go so that I can put my focus on that entirely and not feel like I'm being pulled in 10,000 different directions.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a 27-part question, and you didn't get us anything from Starbucks. But Michelle, you want to jump in?
What's your first name?
Desiree. You've done a reading.
Oh, Desiree. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. I want to hear what Jimmy Mack has to say because he doesn't know you. So let's see what he gets first.
That's even better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody that's done extremely well at yoga unless it's Bikram, but it is what it is. That's a labor of love. I had a yoga teacher here yesterday. That's fine if you want to do that. I would always encourage anybody that wants to do quote-unquote yoga or teach yoga or have a yoga studio. Hopefully they have what my mother would call a terribly wealthy partner. So, but again, if that's what you want to do, I think that's fine and that's admirable and that's loving and kind. And to me, it really takes the essence of spirituality and exercise and intuition and grounding and just kind of molds it all together in this, giant form. And so I love that. And I love yoga. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not, people don't go into that for the money or if you're leaving corporate world for that. And, that's not what that's about. So it'd be kind of like saying I want to work for a nonprofit or be a social worker. It's not comparable to a MD psychiatrist or a PhD psychologist or whatever. And this is somebody who has 2 doctorates. I'm just telling you. So, none of that matters. Right. But, you really come off somewhat as scattered in that, scattered, tattered, and torn they're talking about. So there is a lack of focus. Are you out of your car now? Can you stand up?
Yes, I'm out of my car. Yes, I'm home.
Awesome. So if you're standing up and facing due north, you want to have your feet about hip width apart. It's strong mountain pose in yoga. That's what I tell the world. Okay? And if you're standing there right now.
Okay, I'm finding north.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
It's going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. You can say, my name is Desiree. It'll pull you forward.
Woo! I'm going back.
What do they call you?
What's that?
What else do they call you? What other names do you have other than Desiree if it's pulling you backwards? Desi. Yeah, let's try Desi. That should pull you forward for yes. My name is Desi.
It definitely is.
Okay, so you see the difference. So the point is Spirit calls you Desi and not Desiree. So it's kind of interesting. So we'll go with that. So right now what's showing up is you feel kind of scattered, tattered, and torn, and that's going to pull you forward for yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to release it, resolve and delete it, erase it, disentangle it all off of her now. It's going to pull you back in waves now.
Ooh, big time.
Yeah. And it's going to pull, and it'll bring you back to neutral once it's done. And just let us know when you reach a place of neutrality. There you go.
Still going.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just pulling out all that indecisiveness and woulda, shoulda, coulda, and racing here and racing there. And you're a big starter.
It's going.
Yeah. It's going to pull it all off of you, and it's going to bring you back to neutral once it's shifted.
You know what, Jimmy? I'm feeling like a lot of pressure in my third eye when you're talking to her. Mm-hmm. Like, is she like really growing psychically in her third eye, or what's going on with her third eye?
Yeah, intuitively, yes. It's almost like what I see is, it isn't that she's so intuitive, it's the intuition is trying to get into her. And so that's why the pull going back is all the scattered types of issues leaving. And then we're going to have you feel a lot more grounded once it brings you back to neutral. Can you feel that?
I'm neutral now.
I love it.
I'm
neutral
now.
Yes. One thing too is Desiree is a Scorpio. Scorpio is, the planetary ruler is about hidden things, and there's a lot of things being revealed right now. So I know that Desiree is a little more into open-minded about things, what's going on. So and being a Scorpio, you're going to go by how things make you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily if they make sense in your mind. How does it make you feel?
Agreed.
Jimmy, before the show ends, I just want to say that I'm offering for any of your listeners that want to go on our Etsy store. I just want to get this in. They can type in the code Jimmy Mack and get 25% off any of our crystals on our Etsy store.
Love it. And be sure and put that on Facebook as well, and we'll put it on ours as well. Just kind of link me on it, and we'll tell the world.
For sure, yeah.
Thanks for calling in. Thanks for playing along.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, and thank you, and to you and Richard both, and thanks for being guests on the show. I love it, and it was just a great metaphysical free-for-all, as they say, so I love that.
It was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
So much.
You bet. Thank you, and you guys have a great rest of the day, and, folks, we're out there just to help everybody we can and contribute all we can, so feel free to reach out, and you can always reach out for Michelle or Richard or myself. And you can always find me at jimmymackhealing.com. Thanks again, everybody. Great show. Bye-bye.
When you don't go to geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.